our lesson today. I think that's going to be okay because I think that it's pretty straightforward. So we are working with parallel lines. This is the first page, parallel lines, says page 156 at the top if you're looking for it. And I'm just going to read through some of this work. It says, parallel lines are like straight sections of a railway track. That is, they are straight and they are always the same distance apart. So no matter how long they are, the lines will never meet. It says lines of different lengths can still be parallel as long as they are both straight and always the same distance apart. So you can have a shorter line and a longer line, and they could still be parallel as long as they would never meet. And mathematicians use arrows to indicate whether lines are parallel. So these little arrows we'll be using today as well. So here in number 1, it says mark any pair of lines that are parallel with arrows. So if I look at this first one, if I continue this line, and I can do that with my line tool. If I continue this line and extend it further, and I take this line and extend it further, it looks like they're going to run into each other. They're definitely not parallel. Parallel lines stay the same distance apart, no matter how far you extend them. So these ones I wouldn't mark with arrows. But B, these ones look like train tracks. They kind of look like they're going to continue and just be together. So I'm going to use my drawing tool and mark them with an arrow on top and an arrow on the bottom. So just kind of like that. It says bonus, select one pair of lines that is not parallel. Put the corresponding letter here and explain how you know they aren't parallel. All right, second part of the first page, it's got these lines in the grid and it wants you to add a parallel line next to those lines. So you're going to use the grid and add a parallel line next to those lines. On the other side of the page, it says the following pair of lines are parallel. For each of them, join the dots to make a four-sided shape, and the first one has been done for you. So I used purple and I joined the dots to make this a four-sided shape, and you're going to do that for all of these ones, just simply connecting the dots. I recommend using a ruler or a straight edge.
Mr. D, is it kind of like we use a ruler to make shapes, like connect the dots to make the shapes?
Yeah, it's just like that. It says in each case, are the original two lines still parallel? So yes or no, does connecting these dots to make shapes, does that change anything, or are the lines still parallel? And you have to yes or no.
Mr. D, are the lines in the grid?
Let me finish, please, going through the sheet. I just can't see you today, and I'm running out of time. So I'm going to finish going through the page, and then I'll see if we have time for questions. For number 4, it says each of the shapes below has one pair of parallel sides. It says mark opposite sides that are not parallel with an X. So here we're marking sides that are not parallel with an X. And then down here, you are using the arrows to mark all the pairs of parallel lines in the figures below. Okay, that takes you through what you need to do for today. Not too difficult, I imagine, but if you have questions, I do have extra help available today. All right, I can take maybe one question before we end our math lesson. Drew, do you have a question, or is your hand up from before?
What's that line art thing you've been talking about?
Line art, that's in package 6. There is instructions about how to do it, and there's 3 YouTube videos that show how I did mine. So that's what we're talking about there. And McCool, you have a question about math.
In the grid, you know the parallel lines, are they actually blue or are they gray?
They're gray. I just made them blue on my page so that we could see them and work with them easier.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye everyone except for Brooke. You're going to stick around.
Bye.
Madeline, you're coming back to meet with me at 10 o'clock, right? Okay. I'm going to stop recording.